Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to our The Walking Dead AMA. I am Captain Zach Peterson, and we've got on design Superboy Brandon Godfrey. Say hello, sir.
Hello.
And on art, we've got Pixel Patron Mr. Chris Miller. Say hello.
Yo.
We are here for the next 30 to 45 minutes to answer your questions. So type them in the Discord, type them in the YouTubes, wherever you're watching this, and ask away. So, yeah, let's get started here. Also, thank you to Paul for running things behind the scenes, doing his thing. Excited to have you on here. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and all the other things, whatever you're watching on. So the first thing to note is, Chris, what are you going to be doing during these next 30 to 45 minutes?
I thought I'd build part of a level for you guys while you guys were giving everyone an update on new gameplay systems and new things. So this is a tile that I'll be building featuring kind of the movie theater. And then I'm a little curious what we should build on the other side. Probably do a parking lot on one side just so that players wanted to build a base. They'd have a footprint in an area to do so. But on the other side, we got like a coffee shop. We've got an oil change station. Like, I don't know, whatever the audience feels like would be a really cool thing to feature in that spot.
So you'll be open to suggestions?
Yeah, we'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Okay, and we've got the one and only Doug Sunny on Discord, keeping us up to date on how things are going as well. So I'll keep an eye on it. He's keeping an eye on it, and we'll take your suggestions. I've got my dog barking in the background. Wonderful timing, Lily. So we'll see how they'll probably be with us the whole time too, because she is annoying. So we'll watch Chris do his thing. We'll answer some questions and keep interacting with us. So the first topic I want to hit while we're going here is basically how the last demo go. So we haven't chatted with everybody in a while, and we've done 2 demos, I believe. Correct, Brandon? Since we last got in front of everyone.
Yeah, we had the nice long demo at the very end of winter, which we dubbed our winter demo. It moved into the spring, maybe just a tad. Yeah, and then we had the demo up for a couple days during Comic-Con.
Exactly. So yeah, the winter demo, we had a lot of people playing. I think we hit about 7,500. I could be lying on that number, but it was up for 2 weeks. A lot of people playing. It went well, and we learned a lot from it, and that kind of influenced the Comic-Con demo that you all got to get your hands on a few weeks ago, where people got to play it. Not a ton had changed from the winter one that was outward facing, but the most important part was a lot of stability. Our engineers were doing a lot of firefighting during that winter demo, keeping something up for 2 weeks. And the things that we saw, the things we got to fix, made it so that this last demo really went smooth. It was just went up, went down, and things were easy breezy, which means that in the future it'll be a lot less for us to worry about and easier to get demos in the players' hands. So yeah, that was pretty exciting stuff. But I know one thing is brought up, like, hey, why are we playing this if not a lot has changed? The stability is a big reason that helped us understand what was going on. The other thing for us to think about was basically, like, we got a lot of stuff burning in the background. We've got kind of our next big goal is taking that 5 to 10 hour experience of what you all got to play in the last demo and really take it to a 40-hour plus experience. So, and that requires a lot of content, requires a lot of balancing, and just making everything bigger, getting those systems going and working in harmony with one another. So we're adding a lot of weapons, a lot of progression in the crafting system, more enemies, trying to go from just walkers, more walker types, human enemies like you've seen in the shows, like I don't know if I say too much, then we got nothing to talk about next time, but I'll still say it. So human enemies. So there's some sense of self-preservation on the enemy side of things. Getting some shop stuff where you can buy and sell items in a shop. Just really like bringing the world together and making it so that you get that feeling of progression for a longer period of time. And obviously, the next question that people are going to have is, well, when do we get to play that? And I don't have a good answer for you. I wish I did, but it's coming along well, and more is getting in the game. Doug will share more in the Discord as it comes along, and I'm hoping, and I don't want anybody to hold me to it, but hoping in the next couple of months we'll get another demo out, and we'll really promote that one, make it easier for people to come in, play, and maybe try to cross the 10,000 unique player mark for the next one. That'd be pretty exciting.
Yeah, a lot of all these features that are in progress, like we'd love to put them in and show them to you guys as soon as possible, but if you just flip the switch on, then it basically just starts breaking the game. They need to be tested. They need to have everything kind of hooked in, and so it takes time, and we don't always know exactly when it's going to be ready.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, it's exciting. There's a lot of good things happening on the back end, and the next AMA we do, we'll do kind of another big reveal of just all the features in flight, and that will give us a chance to kind of show everybody what's coming down the pipe, and then also most likely do a demo shortly after that too. So I like people being able to get their hands on it because it helps us kind of understand what people are liking, what needs improvement, and also just make sure we can stabilize for once we do have a live game that's persistent and up and running. So yeah. So the first topic I think we'll kind of get into is base building. These are questions that Doug Sonny was able to get ahead of time. So as he asked them, put them into a document for us. We kind of picked them up, but if there's live things that people in the Discord or on the YouTube want to know about, make sure to ask them. We'll get those live questions, but otherwise we'll just go through what we have here. So the first question that I have, and I'll just toss this one your way, Brandon, is basically, is there any suggestions for improving the building and base building? I think some people were finding it a little lacking on the visual differences for what was going on in the previous demo. So do we have anything coming down the pipe to make base building in general just a better experience?
Of course we do. Yeah, we've been doing all kinds of stuff surrounding the base. So I guess some of the biggest things would be adding more constructs, which is what we call the things you actually build at your base, so that there's both more variety and more function at your base. Like some of the things that can add variety is just decorations like tables and stuff. Some of those things will have some function to them. Like we're working on bathrooms right now because you got to have a bathroom in your base, right? And so that will provide some function. Maybe it's just boosted healing while you're back at your base, or giving you the ability to cleanse debuffs off yourself, which kind of makes sense. It's like taking a shower. And then there's a lot more active things too that actually provide direct function. Some of these, or I guess one example would be a rain barrel to act as a water source. And then once you have that, it allows you to build something like a garden, because now you can water your plants, because plants like water. And then we're also adding the defensive structures. I know we've talked about those before, sniper towers. We have some buildings that produce mines, so that you can place mines around your base to help defend it from both walkers and anyone who's attacking your base. So yeah, at that point, as you get farther on, all these constructs will start to unlock, and then people's bases should start to look different from each other. Like right now, I think in the last two demos, everyone's bases sort of ended up looking about the same because you didn't have very many things to choose from. So we're drastically improving that amount of choice.
And how many different types of materials do we have that people will be able to build their base from as they're upgrading?
Yeah, so that is expanding as well. We've added the concept of refined materials. So you'll go out in the world and you'll still get your wood and your stone, and then you'll be able to build a construct to refine those materials into a different material. So for example, you get wood, and then once you've built yourself a table saw, I believe is what it is, you can then produce lumber. So you use your crafting menu and you make yourself lumber. And then you can build better things out of lumber. It's required to craft certain things. And then we're expanding, adding a bunch more of those refined materials. So you'll have a lot more options to build things out of.
Yeah, it's really one of our focuses right now. We had so many systems come in during the last demo that the kind of the base building customization fell behind. I think that's really something that we'll see a big jump on this next time around, which is pretty exciting. Another base building question, adjacent, kind of a land question here, but it's a question about multiple lands and multiple headquarters. So if you own multiple land, does it mean you get multiple headquarters, or what is the benefit for that, Brandon?
You're only going to get one HQ. And so if you own multiple lands, you could choose which one to build on. You could build on one, then you could move to the other. As you've seen in the demos, the progression with your HQ is you start with common. If you own land that's a higher rarity, you can start on that land. You'll have an HQ that is able to go up to that rarity that matches your land that you own. And you'll have to level it up from level 1, regardless of what rarity you start on. Once you hit certain levels on your HQ, you're able to then move to higher rarities. So if you don't own land, you'd start in common. Once you get your HQ leveled up to level 10, you can move to uncommon, and then you keep on going. If you own multiple land, you could build on one, build on the other. You can have allies build on the one you're not currently built on. You'll get a benefit with the influence system in the game, which I know is something we've touched on a bit before. It's still in the works. But when you're built on land that you or an ally own, other players' influence from their HQs can't take your buildable area away from you. So essentially, they can't encroach into that land. You have like the ownership rights. So that's a good benefit for your allies to be built there. So that will help you out.
Okay, very cool. Let me, so that question was from Lucifer from the Discord. We're going to go to a question from Zampi, non-building or HQ related. But they're saying, any plans on adding companions such as dogs or cats? I think that's, I'll take that one. It's a cool suggestion. I think there's a lot to get done in this base game first. I know there's, some of the games that we play with each other as we're, just gamers as well. I always enjoy having a dog companion in the games. Got to pet the dog, just like my dog in real life here. But that would be down the line quite a ways. So a good suggestion, good question. So I'm kind of just taking live questions here, and we'll switch back to more base building as people have them. But I think it's fun to be more interactive with the people watching right now and asking the questions. So we'll go to the next one here. From Hackus on the UbTubs, will there be seasonal storylines to follow, or is the game just an open survival like? Brandon?
Yeah, right now the goal of the game is to have that open survival experience, and there's not seasons planned. Not going to rule it out for the future, because that could be a way to continue interesting content. But for right now, yeah, it's that open world experience.
And that kind of dovetails. We'll just have the conversation flow here, but that suggestion and that answer makes me think about dungeons, which is one of the things we are adding into the game right now. I believe it's been mentioned in the Discord, probably on Jason's ahead of the game as well. But we're adding dungeons into the game, a single player progression campaign with the dungeons, and also open world dungeons that you'll be able to go into and play with others within the world too. So that kind of gives us the extra ability. My dog companion is is very annoying right here.
Yeah, she likes dungeons.
I'll let Brandon answer this one as I deal with this. So take it away, Brandon. Talk about dungeons for a minute.
Sure. Yeah, so the initial dungeons that we're working on right now, building out, are dungeons that are called campaign dungeons, and these will be requirements. Well, you'll launch to them from your base. You'll have like a motorcycle or a truck or something at your base that you can interact with to leave to go to the dungeon. And from there, you'll have to beat certain levels of these dungeons in order to upgrade your HQ again. And it'll probably be at key milestones. So like you have to beat dungeon 10 in order to upgrade to HQ 10, something like that. And then the type of dungeon that probably a lot of people are excited about is the party dungeons. And those will exist out in the world, and you'll be able to party up and then go in and do a multiplayer experience where you're cooperating to go through a dungeon, fight all the bad guys and get the loot at the end.
Yeah, the dungeons are really exciting, and it's still early days. Playing them with our team in our tests is a ton of fun. They're still quite a ways off before the general public will be able to play them, but man, it really does make the world feel bigger and exciting. So
yeah, and right there along with dungeons is our building interior tech, which is also actively being worked on right now. But just like watching Chris designing this world back here, some of these buildings in here that you see, you'd be able to just click on the doorway and go into that building, look around. I think we've shared some images from like mock-up of the interior of the police station on Discord before. But you'll be able to go into these buildings, fight walkers in there, loot. They'll kind of be an extension of the open world. So random other players could walk in at the same time. Who knows what you'll encounter in there. If you go into one in a PvP zone, that may be a trap. You never know what's waiting inside.
So I believe you touched on this, and it's another question coming in from Lucifer on the Discord, but asking about how hard is it going to be to upgrade your HQ, and just like, will you need special items to be upgrading it? And I think that the part of that is going to be special items. Part of it ties into the dungeons, like Brandon just said, where you will be working through the storyline in the dungeons, the campaign in the dungeons, tying back into your HQ progression. But there is going to be also more items to be getting that'll take to be able to upgrade. It'll be a little harder to get through it. One important change that's coming is that the HQs will keep their level. So once you get to that common level 10 HQ, you'll start at that in the uncommon rather than having to go through those previous waves like you experienced in the demo.
Yeah, and I would say that the HQ upgrades will be as hard as they need to be, because if it's, as we're going through and balancing, if it's feeling too easy or too quick, and we think, you could really use a special item as a requirement here to get this upgrade because that will make it more fun, or it's too easy, then that may be an additional thing required. But right as of now, there's no special things. It's materials, it's beating dungeons.
Yeah. And then a question coming in here. Will we get a cool event weekly so we could have a group of like 15 to 20 people take on a bunch of zombies? So there will be live operations, as we run the game, different events added. You've seen our solo and our guild-based events currently. The dungeons will open up our live ops to be able to make new dungeons, push them out, different event ideas. So really the focus right now, though, is on getting a really solid core gameplay experience on the open world with the progression going through the common to the ancient, getting people involved in it, getting new users in to play it, and then that allows us to do kind of the bigger open-ended, what sort of events do we want to run, what sort of live ops do we want to run, keep people really going. Part of that is the multiplayer. Part of it will be single-player events. Part of it will be alliance events. but we just want to build the framework and the gameplay structure to allow us to then be able to take what we have and make more of it and just make the game bigger, more compelling, more exciting. But you got to start with a solid open world survival MMO experience and then go from there.
Yeah, adding on all those events, I think it's something everyone on the team is like really excited about, and we can't wait to get there. But yeah, there's a lot of work to do before that.
Yeah, that there is. So it is fun. I love the wouldn't it be cool lifts. And they come from people in the Discord. They come from people who just stumble across the game, and they come from people within the team. And it's hard to not always want to be like, yeah, that would be cool. But focusing on just nailing that core experience, that core gameplay loop, and being able to get people in and enjoy the full game as fast as possible is really what we're focused on right now. We got some hero questions coming in, so we got a live one, and then I'll kind of get to a few that we had saved up here. The first one, I guess, I'll talk about this because this happened since we last chatted with people, but during May Mayhem, we gave away common Morgan characters. So that was pretty exciting. I believe that means a lot of people got to play as Morgan, as their character of choice going into this last demo. So that was a pretty neat thing. That tied into the first half of the final season of Fear the Walking Dead. The second half of that season should be premiering, I believe, next month. So make sure to check that out on AMC or the AMC Plus. The question coming in from Smiling Monster on the Discord is, how does hero rarity come into play, and what will owning multiple heroes do for you, Brandon?
Yeah, so obviously, like, your first hero is the one you're playing with as your avatar. I mean, it doesn't have to be the first one you get, but all of your extra ones, as I believe it was put, can be used to get assigned to various roles. I mentioned the buildings that can produce mines earlier. That allows you to like place mines around. If you if you assign a character to that building, then that character will actually redeploy those mines automatically once they've gone off for you, so you don't have to go and put them out. Then there'll be plenty of different places where the characters can just provide a buff, and that will be, I guess, you can't really call it party because you're partying with other players, but your crew or your companions or some term like that is for some of these heroes that are traveling with you, and they're basically just buffing your character. And so the higher level you get them, the bigger the buff, or the higher rarity they are. And then there, some of the NFTs, like the crafting stations and stuff, they will provide benefits inside there. So there's a multitude of places. There's a lot of specific things that will be determined by the rarity of the hero, which hero they are. But any of the heroes should be able to get assigned to any of the places. It's just what buff or function they provide will be different.
Yep, and really it boils down to, we want heroes to feel good and special, and it should feel exciting to be able to slot them into different spots in the game and feel useful. So it's a neat collection. Another part of that collection mechanic, and a few of the questions we had come in, was really about what do we do for the merging. So people just saying, like, is it still a thing? Can we talk more about it? A few questions came in. So Brandon, you want to chat about what that is again and how that's going to feel?
Yeah, so the merging allows you to get a higher rarity of hero. So you take 3 heroes that are the same hero of the same rarity, and they combine to get you a new higher rarity hero. And that new hero is actually a new hero. It is not based off of one of the 3 that were merged together. And so it would require more leveling up. The exact amount that you will be required to level a hero, if at all, is still kind of up in the air before you can merge it. It will likely be a higher requirement the lower the rarity it is. So if you have higher rarity heroes, you won't have to level them up as much to merge them. And then, yeah, and that's how you get your heroes up higher. So if you have a whole bunch of low rarity heroes and you decide you'd be better off with fewer but higher rarity heroes, then that's how you do it.
And really what allows us to do this is the merging and the integrating with Gala Chain. So that will hopefully, fingers crossed, be around the corner. We were able to work with the team, great team on the back end on the platform with Gala doing that. So excited to get that in there, get our stuff going, and add some of these features that will allow us to merge the heroes and do other things, and really let each character be unique as well, rather than from a collection of Ricks like we currently have it. So once we migrate everything to Gala Chain and open that up, that will open the doors on that for us. Another question that came in that I see on the Discord from NFT Chuck asking about the buffs and the skill trees. Are those finalized? What's going to change on those? So everything on the characters, kind of character progression, sort of a question for you, Brandon.
Yeah, they're certainly not final. And those will probably be something that they'll always kind of keep evolving as we add additional systems to the game, because we'll want the skill tree to kind of like reach in and modify all these different things. And then obviously for balancing reasons, we're always going to be going in and tweaking them so that they feel just right. So yeah, if there's things that you have feedback on for skill trees and stuff, that's a very good thing to let us know about, because there's so many things that skill trees can do, and I know our designer who works on those would love to hear feedback on what you think works, what doesn't, what you'd like to see.
Yeah, that is true. It's you can't just like boot it up and start playing now, but if you can remember what your favorite skills are, the progression you enjoyed, all great things to call out. So
yeah, or during the next demo, take some notes, say, oh, I really like these kind of things in the skill tree, or this doesn't seem valuable to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps us out. Let's see here. So those were good. Let's see. We went through the heroes. A question that's come up a few times as well is when is the next demo, the next beta launch? The logistic style questions. Next demo is as soon as possible. We want to be able to make sure that we get something out there that has this new stuff that we've talked about. Hopefully in the next month or two for that. Beta is always kind of a tough thing. I mean, it's a label that you put on a demo. So as the demos get better and more exciting and more progress, that's something that we'll look into announcing and doing. And then we are trying to get a live version of the game up by the end of the year or early next year. That's kind of when we want to be able to have that point where progress is continual. We don't wipe the databases again and keep things marching forward. So it is our goal. It's an ambitious goal, but it's something that we want to do and get a version up there so people can play and enjoy it. It's not worth launching something that's broken or doesn't have the loops, but that's what we're trying to hit with what we've got going. Okay. Let's see here. Here's a question. Brandon, when's the land claim? Remember that?
Yeah. So, and I feel like this is a question I've answered multiple times too, but yeah, definitely don't worry about asking it again. The land claim is something, we really want to have people making a choice that is an educated choice, and not just like picking something at random off of a map. So it will, it's likely to be something that happens after the game goes live, once players are able to have the chance to experience like what's the pros and cons of one piece of land or over another. Why would I want to be here versus there? And then, or like maybe they're already built on a certain spot too, and so they want that. So yeah, we don't have like a specific date for it, but we really want it not to be a blind choice.
Yep, good answer. But yeah, happy to repeat ourselves because that's what we're here for. Not everybody can remember everything. I know I don't. So it helps refresh our memories as well. I did see somebody in in the Discord there, KM said it would be cool to have a chat bubble on your character to talk with others. And I know Doug Sunny did add it in there, but for those not in the Discord, we do have the ability for chat to appear in game. So there's a say and yell commands in the chat. I think we're getting some more like tooltip help as well coming into the chat this next time around. And the chat also got an upgrade the last time from the winter demo too. So a lot of progress being made there. Being that it is an MMO, we want to make like a top-notch communication system in the game for everybody. So should feel good, should be easy to communicate with others, and do fun stuff like being able to see your text in the game and emotes and stuff. So
yeah, in the last demo, I was running around and using that to say hi to players, and they all were asking me how I was doing it.
Yeah, it was kind of hidden. Yeah, /say and /yell give you that ability to do so. So when you get to play next time around, check that out. So
yeah, and there is a help command in chat too that will tell you all those nice, slightly hidden features.
So we got about 10 to 15 minutes left here. Plenty of time to get your questions in. So make sure to ask them on the Discord, on the YouTube. We'll get any live questions answered that we can. Trying to go through the list of questions that Doug Sunny put together as well. So, and we're watching the one and only Chris Miller decorate a level while we're doing so. For those just tuning in.
So Zach, I see a question in Discord here that I know is also on the list about the lab and the cookery. And I think there had been a little confusion about those, how their rarities come into play. Because in the demos, we hadn't had any items that had quality hooked up to them for the lab or cookery yet. But that's not the intended final design. They are going to have quality, just like the other crafting stations. So the higher rarity lab or higher rarity cookery will get you better quality medicine, better quality food, and that food will last longer when it's in your stomach. And the medicine will be more potent, things like that with the quality.
Good answer. So. Good info.
Thanks.
We had another question kind of coming in, a follow-up. It's kind of like we're having a conversation with the people in the Discord here. It's fun. But asking about how big the map is going to be at the final launch. And final launch is a tough thing as well. It's like we're getting the game in people's hands as quick as possible. So is it going to be 810 zone, 10 county play test by the end of the year? Not by the end of the year because we don't have the players for that yet. So as we continue to expand and build everything, we'll add the counties. The art team is feverishly working away even while we speak here on making the world. So seeing it live and in action. But yeah, that's what we're building up, is getting to that point where we have the full state map ready to go and traverse, adding in all the different functionality like fast travel as well as one thing that we have been playing with, and really after the last demo realized this has got to be a top priority. Being able to travel to your Alliance members' bases quickly, back to where you died, finding where you died on the map, getting your loot again. So
yeah, I know some players have expressed their frustration wishing that fast travel was in for the last demos. I know it's kind of rough if you had to walk across the whole zone or I guess walk across the whole county potentially just to meet up with your friends. But yeah, we will streamline that, make it a lot easier so you can just fast travel over to your buddies and play together.
Yep. And then some Alliance questions here. One of the first questions is the Alliance size going to change? So I'll let you hit that one while I find the rest of him here. So kind of Alliance size in general, maybe go over the alliances and empires and our current thoughts on that for anyone.
Yeah, so the Alliance size definitely could change. I know they feel kind of small right now at 25 players. But the idea there is sort of that your Alliance is sort of a tighter knit group, and then the Empire is kind of the larger expanding group. It's definitely open for change, and it's something that we'll probably experiment with more in the next few demos, or next demo, I should say. It's not like we're going to have one every week or something. So yeah, if you are playing in an alliance in a demo and stuff, I know we don't have the Empire stuff hooked up in there right now, so you don't get that full experience. But if they're feeling too small, yeah, we won't be afraid to make them larger.
Yep. And then also kind of to dovetail with the alliance system, and it was briefly mentioned earlier, but we are looking at adding a party system as well. So that will help with dungeon raids, just being able to be together with your friends in the game. If you're not necessarily part of the same alliance, you can be in the same party and kind of running around and communicating that way. So that's one thing we're looking at adding to just give a bit more of a social, cohesiveness as you play the game, join up and play with others. We want it to feel fun to be able to just drop in, play a bit with your friends, and hop out and have that be a good experience. Okay, let's let's go to this question here. Another kind of logistic question. Will we add a Japanese version of the game on release? And just kind of like thoughts on localization. So yes, is the short answer. Most of our games in the history that we've built for the Ember Entertainment games have done English, French, German, Spanish, Japanese, and more. So we will be looking to localize the game into many of the languages, especially at like final release. So as we go forward, we will be working on localizing some of it. But yeah, that's we definitely want to make it as accessible as possible to as many players as possible through that process. Okay. Also, Brandon, if you see any questions come in, feel free to ask them.
You got to remember to include Portuguese.
Yes. So we got about another 5 to 10 minutes of the AMA. So feel free to ask as many questions as you can in the Discord and the YouTube. We'll get those questions answered for you. So question around Vox information. So Vox is a separate project, but we do plan on adding some benefits for having Vox, especially the Walking Dead Vox. I believe it is the 2-year anniversary of the Walking Dead Vox. So happy anniversary to them. But yeah, not a lot more information right now as we are focused on just making the core survival MMO gameplay. So as we get more info, we'll certainly be able to bring it up. We do plan on having benefits for box holders as buffs in the game. We plan on having some sort of system for, especially for like the Walking Dead, some of that brand harmony with that one as well. So we want to add that stuff, but really right now we just need to make this the best MMO possible so that we can bring as many people into it and enjoy the game first. So hopefully that answers the question for anybody asking Vox questions there. Anything else on that list that you're seeing, Brandon?
Yeah, well, let's see. Someone corrected me that the alliance size is actually 20 right now. Said that 30 would be a reasonable amount. So Lou Cipher, yeah, that's true. 30 is a reasonable amount. Questions about buffs and when details on those will be released. Buffs are something that's always getting balanced, and so if we release details, they would probably change. So I don't know how useful those details would be. Probably something that you'll get the most information from playing a demo, just kind of going and seeing what like the current state of the buffs are. And then even after that, the next demo or release or whatever, they will probably be changed because it's an ongoing balancing thing of how everything fits together.
Yeah, I think one of them that came up a lot was the bow staff jump and stun, especially in the PvP areas, was kind of overpowered and could keep people juggled. So that's one that's changing. Something we've looked at has changed on our development builds. So yeah, we're constantly keeping an eye on things, as any live game would be too, is constantly tuning and changing to make sure that it's a fun experience for everybody.
Okay. It may not have been intentional that the W ability on that bow staff where you could jump and stun had no cooldown on it. So we are not immune to small mistakes.
Yeah. And kind of talking about the bow staff in PvP, there was a question about incentivizing the PvP and wanting more people to engage in it. And really, that's kind of, I would say, post-launch plans updates. So after the initial version, we were trying to focus on this cycle of going out, harvesting, battling with your friends, more of a PvE experience. But we still have PvP in the zone, the combat zones right now. So that's something that we'll keep on there, allow people to engage in. And then in the future is really when we're going to focus on making those zones exciting, adding more ways to PvP with your friends. But it's like a whole game mode in its own right, and it's got to be done right once we focus on that. So those announcements would be after we kind of get this initial version is when we'll shift the focus a little bit more to PvP as well as live ops and pushing the bigger version of the game. I had another good question here too, and it's gone. Couple more minutes for everybody. I'm going to say we'll cut this off at 2:45, so Paul can get ready for his next videos. So get your questions in.
I see one in here, Zach, asking about if it's possible to earn heroes while doing free-to-play. So just by playing the game, you won't be earning the hero NFTs, but you would, even if you don't have one, you'll be able to play as one. So it's not an actual NFT that you could transfer out of the game, but it'll be like a default hero that you can play as, and that will be the choice from the Ember original characters that we have in the game. These are the characters that are not from the Walking Dead show. Those will be the more reserved ones for the NFTs. So yeah, you'll be able to play as those, but yeah, you're not going to earn NFTs by playing the game.
The couple more questions, getting some love from people in the Discord. It's wonderful to be able to do this and chat with you all and to have a moment to just engage with the community. So very excited to be seeing everybody typing their questions and actively engaging with us. Couple of questions just around the rewards, victory points, light paper. Still a work in progress for those asking those questions. We don't want to rush anything out and then have people make decisions on that. So we're doing our best to see what's working, what's best for the community, what's best for the game through other games such as Spider Tanks, Dragon Strike, and with a few other that are launching around the corner with Champions Arena and Poker Go. So lots of cool stuff happening in Gala Land that we're able to learn from and make our best decisions on. So everybody can feel good about it, and we don't have to then backtrack on stuff. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And as we have more information, we will certainly share it the best of our ability. And I don't know. I think that might be it for us. What do you think? Do you have one more question? Like usually I have something silly, but
they want to know how often we're going to do these AMAs.
How often do y'all want the AMAs? Every day?
Question with a question.
Yeah. The trade ban. That's a good one. So the NFT Chuck asking about the trade ban. I believe that's the shop probably photo. So that'll be when we drop those in the world. That'll be the initial shop implementation you can walk up to and buy and sell items there. So it'll be a kind of a neat thing. So Smile the Monster said every day. Yeah. There was, okay, this is the last question I think we'll do here. Thank you, Chris, for putting together the level in the background. That was a wonderful thing for me to keep an eye on, as well as the Discord chat. The last question was kind of just a question on heroes and from different shows. Specifically, they asked about a different AMC property, but another person previously asked about different characters within the world of The Walking Dead, and it is something we're keeping our eye on. The Walking Dead has expanded. We've got Dead City. We've got Daryl Dixon, Fear the Walking Dead. So, yeah, I keep posting in Discord about what your favorite character is. their characters will look at adding, especially once the game is live and running. It's something we want to support for a long, long time and add more heroes. And just as the world of The Walking Dead continues to evolve and get bigger, we want to be there with it and just be a live running fun game for everybody. So that is going to be our time, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. Chris Miller, any final word from you?
Just gonna keep make as much content as I can.
Keep at it. Keep working.
If anybody has access to that cloning machine, let me know.
Superboy, Brandon Godfrey, any final words?
Party on, dudes.
Thank you, everybody.
I borrowed that from a movie.
We'll do another AMA soon, and we'll have more good stuff to show you all. See you on the other side. Bye, everybody.